Lawn care can be a very confusing subject, and when you go to the garden center, you're confronted with lots and lots of choices with fertilizers and weed killers and all sorts of equipment. What I'd like to do is take a little bit of that guesswork out for you. You'll need to fertilize the yard. That is important. I recommend something with a slow release nitrogen fertilizer, something like this Classic Lawn Food, but there are plenty of them out there. Scott's, Jordan's, you name it, there's a lot of varieties out there. Apply it with a good quality spreader. This happens to be a broadcast spreader which throws the stuff out in front of you. Following fertilizer in importance is watering. I'm a hose dragger. I don't have a built-in lawn sprinkler system, so I drag a hose and water my yard that way. And there's a lot of different sprinklers out there. My recommendation is choose a sprinkler that has a large droplet size and doesn't throw the water way up in the air. You want it to keep the water down low toward the ground so you don't lose a lot of water to evaporation. One I found that works really well is this Dram sprinkler. And the reason I like it is it's got 7 or 8 different patterns on the top, on the head here, that you can just turn it to get a circle, a half circle, a square, a rectangle, whatever you need to water, so you're not putting water in areas you don't want to put water in. How much water to put down? One of my best tools that I can go to on the internet is denverwater.org. Go to their conservation button. They have local weather stations that collect data on how much rain and how much water we're losing to evapotranspiration. They call it ET. Now, say if we got a half an inch of rain and a half an inch of ET, then you're good. No water needs to be put down. But if we only got a half an inch of rain and we had a full inch of ET, that means you've got a half an inch deficit that you'll need to apply that week to make up the difference. Last but not least are a few problems that the lawn can have, but if you keep your lawn properly watered and fertilized, insects, diseases, and weeds are not going to be big issues for you. And the few weeds that do pop up, I can typically pull out by hand or with a little digger. But the tough ones like bindweed that'll show up or thistle, you will need a weed killer for. My personal favorite is the Fertilome Weed-Free Zone. It's an excellent weed killer to use in the lawn, won't hurt your grass, takes out those really tough weeds. The trick to using a weed killer is to make sure the weeds are big. Don't mow and then spray. Let them grow lots of leaves, then spray them while they're large. The more leaves they have, the more weed killer they collect, and down into the root system it goes to kill the weed. Aside from that, funguses come into a stressed yard, a weak yard. The liquid systemic fungicide or the Fertilome F-Stop right here, either one of those will take care of just about any fungus that comes along. You don't even have to know which fungus it is. You just have to know it's a disease.